It's been months since I made a video talking about Cobblemon, and now it's already been updated again. With mostly consistent teasers and newsletters being released over the past few months, I'm going to be talking about everything new with this update and some of their plans for the future. First, the most important thing for this update is the change in modding versions. This mod has been updated to 1.21, the Tricky Trials update. The trial chambers added by Minecraft have a great system already, and Cobblemon has already made use of it, which I'll get to later. Aside from that, I can see a lot of potential for things like Cobblemon dungeons, and I can imagine future gyms can make use of the trial system as well. Let's talk about the main points of this update: PokeDex, fishing rods, and of course, new Pokemon. The PokeDex is described as a digital notebook, and it comes in as many colors as there are app records. It functions just like in the games, recording data in a catalog of Pokemon once you scan and capture them, and repeat balls now work with the PokeDex, making Pokemon you've already caught easier to catch again. It also makes critical captures and progress capture multipliers work with the PokeDex. I'm not sure what the multiplier is for. It might be for increasing chances for a critical capture, or maybe even shiny chances. Let's talk about fishing. This update adds poke rods, and to make them, you add a Pokeball with a special smithing template on a fishing rod. With this rod, you cast it into the ocean and catch both Pokemon and treasures. You can use berries as bait by right-clicking them onto your rod, and each berry seems to have its own effect. You can also use different Pokeballs to get a variety of different designs. So we have customizable fishing rods that can be baited to catch Pokemon and treasure, things like Prism Scales or King's Rocks. This guy also caught a blue Magikarp. This is a form from the game Magikarp Jump, which I don't know if you played that game, but personally, I love it. I also see that you should be able to catch a giant Wishcash, probably from the one episode in the anime where they go fishing and attempt to catch a giant Wishcash, who I am just now learning is named Nero, which is Greek for water. A fish named Water. Great. One thing I was worried about was evolutions and how they would look. In Pixelmon, it kind of just stretches the model and it's just really disappointing. This does not spark joy. This one does spark joy. The Cobblemon devs made it look amazing. It makes so much more sense to follow the actual game's versions of evolution rather than going off and doing your own thing, especially when the success of the mod doesn't just rely on the popularity of Pokemon and its community, but also how well you can incorporate it into Minecraft. After seeing how well Cobblemon does everything it's set out to do, I guess that's to be expected. I think I'm becoming a professional Pixelmon hater. Oh, and you also need to make sure that your Pokemon is outside of the ball to see the evolution animation. In this update, we also have a few new structures. First, we have the 3 Henge Ruins. The Stonjourner Henge Ruins is a Stonehenge structure covered with suspicious gravel and a Gimmighoul chest in the middle. The Luna and Soul Henge Ruins are a different set of Stonehenge structure that spawn with either a Sunstone or a Moonstone ore at their center. There's also a Fishing Boat structure, which contain both the Pokerod smithing template and a map to the final 2 structures. Remember earlier how I said that Cobblemon makes use of the trial mechanics? Well, the submerged and lush shipwreck coves are trial chambers, which are entirely underwater dungeons that drop Pokemon loot once you clear them. This would pair really well with the Fight or Flight add-on once it gets updated. As of now though, there's still no mention anywhere if Pokemon will ever fight by your side, but we can still hope. Of course, it wouldn't be a Cobblemon update without adding new Pokemon. If I were to go over every Pokemon, it would take about half this entire video. So instead, I'll go over all the new Pokemon in a later video, but we'll take a look at some of them right now. Right, so the first Pokemon that we're going to look at are the Salamence line. Supposedly they spawn in mountainous biomes, kind of like peaks like this one. This is the Frozen Peaks, and this one is the Howling Peaks. So they're supposed to spawn somewhere around here. Given that they are a new pseudo-legendary, I don't think they're going to be very common. So I'll just go ahead and spawn them in then. So first we'll look at Bagon. This tiny little guy. He won't look at me, please. Hello. See if he has unique animations. Fights. It doesn't look like he has any like death animation or anything like that. If I leave him alone long enough, I'm sure he'll sleep. So I'll keep an eye on him for a minute, but for now let's just move on to Shogun. Shogun is round. Shogun? Yeah, he's a round boy. I like the unique textures that they have. Yeah, you can see that he's actually inside of this. That's really cool. So now let's just come over here and spawn Salamence. He is... he's so cool. They really perfected the tail too. That tail swish is very smooth and clean. The animators really did a good job with this, as well as the people who modeled it. There's just slight micro movements of like the wings and the legs along with the body. It makes it all feel really alive. I don't know where the Shelgon or the Bagon went. I wanted to see if they would fall asleep, but from what I see, he disappeared. So we're just gonna move on. We have all sorts of animations here. Actually, I can show you all the animations here as well. Here's Bacon's walking animation. Looks like he only has a walking animation, so there is no sleeping or fainting or anything. It looks like all of his abilities are in here as well. All the items that they drop, everything's all good to go. I don't know if there's any difference here. They even have the shinies too. That's really cool. If I go to Shelgon, walking animation. Oh, I like that. I didn't expect the legs to move for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know how I expected it to move, but it wasn't like this. But this is good. But it looks like it's only a walking and idle animation. There's green for the shiny. Shelgon's a lot smaller than I thought he'd be. He's pretty heavy though. How big is Bagon though? He's exactly half. Shelgon's actually up to the shoulder. Salamence. He is actually huge. There's the green Salamence. I'm sure he has like a flying animation, so there's this walking. His idol with that really nice tail movement. The nice walking animation. I like how the wings move a lot more as he's walking too. They actually put so much time and attention and detail into this. It's insane. It's great. There's the flying animation, which is exactly what I would expect of Salamence. And then the last one I want to show off is it's in the Nether. That seems to be its preferred spawn location, either in the Nether or in volcanic regions. Centiskorch, Bastion, Duskull, Ghastly, Darumaka, Magby, Darhans. So we got Cubo and Marowak, which I'm pretty sure we've had before in the game for a while now. But what we have now is, I don't think there's any bias for this Cubone, which is unfortunate because I know some Pokemon do have biases like this for this command. But why did you do that? Why would you do that? Like for this command, for the Zorua, region bias Hisuian, there are specific forms for Alolan Pikachu versus a regular Pikachu. I don't think I know the command to do that, which is rather unfortunate. So I can't really show you what I wanted to show you. Yeah, because they don't look any different. Right, yeah, so the Cubone just doesn't have any. This is a green little guy. Actually, he looks like a substitute doll with a helmet, like a bone helmet. But what I can do is show you the evolution. I accidentally spawned that one. But here is... Are you good? Yeah, it doesn't seem to have animations, but Alolan Marowak is in this. That makes sense as to why I couldn't find it. It's not animated, so they didn't fully implement it. But Alolan Marowak isn't here. That's really cool, and I'm very excited about that. A lot of these Nether Pokemon don't burn, so I'm kind of curious. Oh, I think the other one might have just died from me punching it, but yeah, no, they don't burn. That's great. That one burns. Alright, well, back to the rest of the video. In the last Cobblemon video, I showed off an add-on that added Pokemon cities into the game, but now Cobblemon has added a brand new villager alongside a new village building. The building is essentially a Pokemon Center and spawns with a new type of healer inside. This healer functions exactly like the old one, except it's uncraftable and you can't pick it up. Because of this, it forces you to still progress the game and get your own. And there's a new Pokemon Center for each village type, so they blend seamlessly into the game. Alongside the building comes a new villager profession, the nurse. But the Trello page notes that they specialize in selling healing items and glass bottles, all stuff to help make potions more renewable. Finally, some of the smaller features to be added are things like shoulder mount quirks, so some Pokemon will have unique animations while they're on your shoulder. They are also adding rafts, because, oh god, they're just drowning at this point.
I'm under the water, please help me.
Now Pokemon can't swim or fly and actually stay afloat in water. New battle formats, double and triple battles. I don't have anyone to help show this off, so all I can say is trust. It's real. It's also right here. We also have tons of new shoulder mounts, which I'll also go over in the next video covering all the new Pokemon. Shiny particles have also been added because apparently shiny Pokemon didn't have any special indicators when they were shiny, and I'm sure many of us can understand the pain of not being able to tell shinies apart. And for the last two things, we have storage blocks for the evolution stones, which are really nice, and as someone who loves to build, I would love to find a way to use these. And finally, we got a bunch of new held items. Competitive Cobblemon is getting real. I'm gonna end this off with some things that they're currently working on. So like last time, let's just rapid fire some updates. A fullness mechanic. There are too many words here and I don't want to read this. There's also TMs and type gems. Type gems are already in the game, so it's probably just TMs. We're also getting custom battle and bio music, rideable Pokemon, breeding. The range block has been in the game, but right now it's just for displaying Pokemon. We're also getting towns and gyms, saccharine trees. Oh yeah, Cobblemon has their own Pokemon professor now. Professor Saccharine. Saccharine? Saccharine?
Saccharine.
That, I guess. Then we got NPC trainers, repels, so Pokemon can finally stop dying on my create machines, falling stars, and cooking, which the only description is McDonald's lunch rush ASMR 1 hour.